Well, residents have a chance to learn more about the planned closure of an addiction services unit at the new Ulm Medical Center. The Minnesota Department of Health will hold a virtual public hearing October 11th at 6 p.m. Officials say the residential addiction services program will transition to a new partial hospitalization and day treatment program. MDH officials will provide a forum for the community to discuss the transition via Microsoft Teams. For a participation link, you can find this story on our website, KEYC.com.